Damn it. Hey everybody, welcome back to Zippy Industries. So it's been a while. I haven't posted a video in probably over a month. Life's been a little crazy around here. School started up, work's picking up. A bunch of shows going on, so we've been traveling around that. So I haven't really spent a lot of time at home, working on projects and shit. So we'll just do a quick little overview on where we're at with everything, and then where we're going with it. So the Volkswagen, we got it done and we drove it up to a show in Jersey called Roots Classic. Went up there. So the transmission I had previously rebuilt, and apparently I didn't get the preload quite right on the input shaft because the bearings were super tight and it was very noisy. So as you see, we tore that all back apart. So while it was apart, I was like, well, we should probably paint it so the cases don't get oxidized. There's all that shit. All new bearings, new diff bearings. The differential bearings were new. They were set right, but the thing looks like they rode down a fucking gravel road for 1,000 miles. So the bearings are all scored. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know if there's maybe some remnants of when they vapor blasted that case or what. I don't know. So we're going to replace those. Going to replace the input shaft bearings. Or a few shims, so hopefully that'll be good to go. So the shovel, this thing, so we got a new front master cylinder on there. We got rid of the Crafttech one, that polished vintage one, because it goes on the Sportster. So this one has the brake light switch lights built into it, so that's one reason why I went with it, and it's black and I think it fits the bike really well. I need to redo the wiring. This is just temporary. I gotta redo it all the way back here and put some bullets on there. As you see, it still leaks like a motherfucker out the end shaft, or out the end of the shaft there. So yeah. So our spacer that we bought with the seal, the O-ring, I'm sure it does work on bikes that don't have other problems. So that main shaft bushing in there definitely is worn. So when we get time, we are going to tear apart transmission and rebuild it. I'm going to buy a full Jim's rebuild kit and rebuild it. Until then, I'm just going to ride the piss out of it until it gets too cold to ride or it starts snowing, and then we'll tear it apart. So until then, I'm going to keep riding the shit out of it, put oil in it, and just deal with it. So did fix the mirror. I need to find a better mirror solution. That one vibrates like crazy. I did order some standard handlebar riser bushings, and I was going to machine these and put them in there. Might not do that. Actually thinking about getting rid of the Springer altogether and going with a like a sporty front end, like a 39 millimeter, shave all the shit, something like that. I don't know. We'll see. I like the way the Springer looks. It rides nice, but the vibration on those handlebars is fucking killing me. Riding on the highway or the interstate at like interstate speeds, you might as well forget it because your hands are going to go numb. So I've looked around for Springer risers, and besides going with like a Flanders setup, there's really not any out there. So at least not any that have rubber in them. So that'll work with this. So we'll see. Still to be decided on that. The old kicker's working well. Pipes are working well. The bike is working very well, other than that oil leak. Other than that, the thing works great. So got our antique tag on there, so good to go there. So no inspections, so good there. There's the Volkswagen. We got the RS's on there, so really set this car off. I love it with the RSs on there. They are very nice. They are going to get torn apart at some point and redone. We're going to put a wider barrel on it so we can put more tire on there, mainly so we can find tires easier. We actually having to luck out with these tires because when we were in Germany, they have odd ass size tires. But now that we're in the States, tire selections like that aren't really there. Seats are going to get redone hopefully over the winter. That way we can have a nice interior to match the rest of it. This is currently what I'm working on though. This is our 50 Ford that we had showed previously, our shoebox. So finally got around to work on this. Made a little bit of time. We have the mock-up block in here. There's a foam block, but it has all the mounting holes. So it's kind of just sitting there right now. It needs to be adjusted, but yeah, it fits. So that's kind of where it's going to go. The cross member we modified, or I modified, because we have a 700 R4 in here, so had to cut out a lot of the tunnel to get this bitch in here. Big ass transmission. So we had the factory cross member in, and I just picked up a transmission mount today, one of the Energy suspension polys. Guy love GM and domestic parts. You can get them anywhere at any AutoZone or whatever, so that worked out. Drilled a couple holes in the cross member and it's in there to go. So next thing is gotta build motor mounts. So next thing for this is building motor mounts, so that way we can get this thing in here and have it good to go, and then we can drop the real motor in because we have one. We got this magnificent bastard, which I can't wait to put in there. 331, but it's kind of a amalgamation. It's poly block, 301 poly block that's been bored. So I did the math, and it equals like a 320 cubic inch. So, but crush has been bumped, it's got bigger cam, all that shit, and then we have a 6-pack going on top. So I'm very excited about the 6-pack because it looks sweet as hell. So but yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. The shovel is the shovel. It's gonna keep going the way it is. I doubt we're changing any of it anytime soon. I've been tossed around the split tanks, but it works right now, so I really don't want to fuck with it. Thinking probably in a year or so we're gonna tear down the motor, tear everything apart, maybe change stuff up. That's if it doesn't sell. It is still for sale. So all those details are on what is on the bike. It's on my Instagram and my Facebook. So, or if you want to know and you're just curious, send me a message. I will send you all the details. It is 10 grand, as is, comes with all the other parts, and you can ride the piss out of it. So yeah, next up is probably going to be the Sporty, the Volkswagen. Once I get I'm gonna put the transmission back together tonight, get it back in the car hopefully tomorrow, and then it's pretty much done. The shovel is at a stopping point, so really it's the Ford and the Sporty. The Sporty, we're gonna get to that. I need to free up my welding area so I can finish welding on it. So that thing, I had to finish welding all the neck because we changed those down tubes. We added 4 inches to the down tubes because we bent it back here to raise it up a little bit, because we did 6/0 tubes, and I didn't like how high the lower bars were with the 6/0 tubes. So we did, so I bent that backbone and then made all new down tubes, added 4 inches, but I still have to weld it back together. So gotta get all this welded, get the mounts welded back on, and then put it back into a roller. So then we can put the motor in. The exhaust is done. I just need to weld them up and then put tabs on it to mount it. And then I gotta finish that battery box / oil tank. It's mounted. So you can see the bungs down in here. I So the bungs are actually welded. There's a bung on here. And then the tank itself has these sleeves and it has rubber in them. So that way this thing is rubber mounted. So it does have some flex, so it's not hard mounted. And then the fender will be welded to this, so this will all be one piece. That, or we might leave them separate, I don't know. Kind of still up in the air about that. If anything, I'll at least contour this so it looks the same. So it contours with the fender, and then we can build a mount to use that box as the actual fender mount, and then that'll be easy. Still gotta get my seat bar. The way they had it on there wasn't gonna work for the seat we were gonna run. So yeah. So still a lot to do on that. Later on I want to change that rear section because I don't like the lower bar, because there's a TC Bros hardtail kit. I don't like the lower bar, how it's all squared off. I would like for it to have an angle so it fits a little nicer. But we are registered for Built Weld People's Choice. So October 1st is when they're supposed to announce who moves on. With some of the bikes I've seen that have entered, we'll see. I've yet to see a sporty make it on. So, you know, fingers crossed, but at the same time, if we don't make it, I'm really not concerned because I have enough shit going on. And trying to cram that thing in, have it done by February, and then trying to make our way out to California, and go all the way across the damn country with it. Ooh. All right, so we'll see. If we get in, we get in. If not, I'll finish it one day. So honestly, probably going to be working on the Ford next, because we might be moving within the next year in PCSing, so we'll see. So need to be able to move the Ford, so need to make sure he gets on the ground. So build the front motor mounts for that, and then I have a Ford 88 in the back. I need to shorten it, then get it mounted up with the 2 links, some airbags, all that shit. So lots to do, right? Never ending story. So I'm sure you all can attest to that. And you get almost halfway through the project, you buy a new one because, well, you're a glutton for your own punishment. So but yeah, that's where we're at. So probably going to see some new videos coming out for the Ford. I've been asked by a few people to make videos on the Ford, so to kind of see what the progress is. We're going to get it on the road. We're going to make the mechanicals super clean, and the body is going to stay rough because it's a piece of shit and it's rusted to crap. So until we either get a new place that has more garage space, or I come into a very large amount of cash to have somebody do the body work, because I don't want to fuck with it, it's going to stay ratty. So we'll see. You know, life likes to throw curves every so often. So, but yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. So hopefully I won't leave you guys hanging for another month plus before I drop another video. So yeah, so stay tuned and take care.